Pregame.com.
NFL action in the Big Easy finds San Francisco at New Orleans. The Niners lay at 1.5 total, 48.5 as we speak. Marco, I'd say the Niners were a little bit focused for that game the last time out against the Chicago Bears. That was a smackdown start to finish. However you looked at it, and it didn't matter, I thought, who the quarterbacks were. Now, I know Kaepernick came in and had this great performance, both with his legs and with his hands. You know what I thought was the most... If you want to see a picture of what Jim Harbaugh can do with a young kid, the week before, and the reason I couldn't play San Francisco, I passed on the game on Monday night. The reason I couldn't get involved with Frisco is I saw Kaepernick come in against the Rams in that tie game. And there were a couple of times late in the game where he could have easily stopped from running and thrown the ball downfield and picked up first downs. And instead, he would panic and run past the line of scrimmage, run out of bounds, get tackled, they'd punt the ball. And I saw that quite a bit. And I thought, boy, there's no way he gets over this in 6 days or 7 days, but he did. And that just shows you it's a tribute to how good Harbaugh and his staff are, because Kaepernick came out there and he looked like he'd been playing for 10 years. It could be Kaepernick. It could be Alex Smith. I think the speech, I think that was all planned. I don't think that was off the cuff. I think Harbaugh knew what he was doing by kind of rustling up the fire a little bit there between these two.
Well, if it's me, and again, we're taping this on Wednesday, so we don't know. They're still saying, right. Alex Smith is supposed to be cleared on Friday. Mm-hmm. We'll wait and see. But if I'm Coach Harbaugh, I got to go to Alex Smith, and this is why. He's your starter. If you go to Kaepernick and you sit down Alex Smith, you're going to wreck his confidence. And what if Kaepernick bombs? Then you're going to go back to a guy that you just crushed his confidence. Whereas if you go with Alex Smith and he doesn't do well, you got the guy coming off the bench who's, full of confidence from his, one start on Monday Night Football. I think that's the way he's got to go. In the Saints, they rolled big last week, the Raiders. And I'll admit, I was on the Raiders last week. And it was, bad play. The Saints are doing things that all of a sudden, they were so bad at the beginning of the season, they've worked themselves back into playoff contention. And this is, a must-win for them. But I just don't see them doing it against a defense like this. The 49ers, the best defense in football, and they hit you, and they hit you hard. Okay. I mean, if you saw that Chicago game, go back to a reference from the last video, there was snot flying on Monday night. It was coming
from one team.
Yeah. And so, for me, I got to look at San Francisco. I just don't see the Saints. I don't believe in them.
One of the things you said is why I think this was a planned speech. If Kaepernick was able to have that great night, there was a planned speech by Harbaugh, because he's too smart to do what you were saying, what it would happen if he did not start Alex Smith, if Alex Smith is healthy. I think he's doing this media a little bit, also for the New Orleans Saints, who are they going to prep for? I really do. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. We're going to find out, because if Alex Smith is healthy and he starts Colin Kaepernick, you're absolutely right. I think it's a mistake, even if they win that football game. You're already talking about Alex Smith, whose confidence isn't the best anyway. But as far as this type of game, first of all, New Orleans last week, I had him too. Every sharp I knew was on the Oakland Raiders. 82% of the action, the tickets written, were on New Orleans, which meant it was a public against respected money side. I'll just say this before people get too excited about New Orleans. They were outgained by Oakland 404 to 382. If it weren't for turnovers and mistakes, which Oakland does, they probably don't even come close to winning by as many points as they did. In fact, one of their touchdown drives started deep in Oakland territory. So I don't think they get those kind of breaks from the Niners.
Yeah, the Niners are a disciplined team. The Saints are one of those teams that have given up 400 yards to everybody they played this year. It is a playoff revenge situation for them. So and they've won 5 out of the last 6 games. So they are playing very well, and they do have one of the biggest home field advantages in the NFL. I don't have a selection on this game, but you had a San Francisco team who peaked on Monday Night Football. Everybody saw it, and now they have to go on the road. That's usually not a good situation to be in. But right now, both these teams are playing good ball. It's tough to go against either one of them.
Well, let's find out who has got. Marco, your free pick.
All right, there's no question the Saints are doing well right now, but really, who have they played? They did beat Atlanta, but Atlanta, everybody was bad-mouthing Atlanta. They were an undefeated team, and nobody was giving them any love. I feel we find out this week. If they can handle the San Francisco 49ers, then sign me up. I'm a believer. But I don't believe in them yet. Their defense is bad, guys, and they're going to be facing a defense this week in the 49ers that they're not going to be able to have 30 points on the scoreboard right away and be able to cover up the flaws in that defense. Look for the 49ers to pound the ball right at them, hit the heart of this defense that really you can move the ball on. And the 49ers will control this game, frustrate the Saints. I like San Francisco. Playoff revenge is there, but we've seen a couple other times this year where teams were in playoff revenge. The 49ers themselves had big playoff revenge against the Giants earlier this year, and they laid an egg. The Giants beat them again. I'm going to go with the 49ers. They win it by 7.
Marco says lay the 1.5 with the San Francisco 49ers. When we come back, Brian Leonard's going to tell us who he likes in the Sunday night contest between the Packers and the New York Giants. All that and Monday Night Football still to come right here at pregame.tv.